GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek: The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission: to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Oh. Welcome to the GNT show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass.
It's Ceridian.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the GNT show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for Coffee Clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the GNT show,
Man.
one of the things we said was no standards. GNT show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
Yeah, you've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the GNT show, is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow,
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
this is
out.
Terry
Fuck
having
it.
a series of small
It's news.
strokes, actually.
Boy, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
Straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I G&T.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 170. I'm Terry Lynn.
Good morning, Joe Lontrue, bitches. How are you? How you be? How you been? This is Gettysburg 7, known as Nick, and there she is to my left, your right. Look at her looking quite stunning in her Janice Dickinson ensemble. It's Terry Lynn.
Hello.
That was totally. And to my right, your left, there he is, wearing his Santa's Little Helper workshop elf Klingon ensemble, Ceridian.
Kapla. I'm here, although I may not be here.
We are doing a show, and hopefully we will be able to get
Finish
good
the
news
show?
finish the show, get good news throughout the show. You never know, but we may end up shutting the show down early, depending on news that Michael gets about the health of his grandfather. So, if we need to break early, we're going to be breaking early. Just letting you guys know ahead of time. Hey, good morning, you two.
Morning. So how's everybody?
It was awesome. I'm doing okay. I'm tired.
Did you like New York City?
I can only say I get it now.
Thank you.
I get it now. I really do. I really never got out of Midtown, if that tells you anything. I was there for 4 days. I had just the loveliest dinner with with Elijah from Priority One podcast, and we had such an amazing little Thai restaurant called Room Service. And then on Saturday, I had lunch with Dave and Jesse Bushman, who you guys got to meet in Las Vegas.
Cool.
They live in New Jersey, and had lunch with me. But then I got to see my first Broadway show.
How was it?
Holy crap! It was awesome. Are you kidding? I got to see get a load of this cast: Nathan Lane, F. Murray Abraham, Stockard Channing, Matthew Broderick, Megan Mullally, Rupert Grint, and Micah Stock was the entire cast in a play called It's Only a Play. It was a comedy, and it was probably the funniest thing I'd seen in a very, very long time. F. Murray Abraham plays this kind of has-been critic, a hack, and he walks in on the first thing you see him when he walks in on stage is he's wearing a toupee that is 4 shades lighter than his real hair color. It was just really, really funny. Nathan Lane was brilliant. Megan Mullally is...
When is Nathan Lane not brilliant? That's
I know. And Matthew Broderick, too. And the two of them play so well off of each other. I never got to see them in producers. I got to see Jason... Oh, my God. His name just went... from Seinfeld. Jason Alexander. I got to see Jason Alexander and Martin Short do the producers in Los Angeles. But I would have... Now that I realize Nathan Lane and Broderick would have been hilarious. But Megan Mullally, people may remember her from Will and Grace.
We all need time with Karen.
He's just a fucking genius. Oh my God. Stockard Channing plays this kind of a has-been actress who had been in theater and then went to LA to start doing movies. And she won a kind of like an Oscar, but then her career kind of took a nosedive. And she ends up being this complete drug addict. And you're assuming a murderer because either way, she's out on parole and she wears a bracelet around her ankle that goes off at periodic times throughout the show.
A quick question. Are you saying her name is Stalker?
Stockard.
Oh, okay.
That's her name.
Mike, you've seen the movie
Stockard
Grease,
Channing.
right, Mike?
Grease, yes.
She was Rizzo.
Okay, cool. I didn't know her name was Stockard.
Stockard
Okay.
Channing. Yeah, she played
Which
the wife
sounds so
on.
close to Stalker, and I don't know why
yeah.
that just is what I heard. Forgive
She
me.
also played Jeb Bartlett's wife on West Wing.
Okay, right on.
Brilliant actress. Really fun. It was astounding. I thought to myself, you know what? I'll see if I can get a ticket. I had been told that they were sold out. So I went to the box office and I thought, you know what? It's just me. There's always like one ticket, right? Everybody tends to buy them in pairs. Selling single seats is usually pretty rare. Sure enough, they had 2 single seats available for that night show. I ended up getting to sit dead center, second row. It was amazing.
Oh, wow, nice.
It was really, really awesome. So, but New York is everything I kind of thought it might be. And I was traveling with 2 people whom I adore very much, my boss and his wife. And they are less exposed to a heavy urban environment than I had been. You know, I got to work and live in San Francisco. I've been to Chicago multiple times. I'm extremely comfortable in the urban environment, and both of them have less exposure than I did. So I kept having to remind my boss, I'm like, stop looking up. Stop looking up. They know you're a tourist if you keep looking up.
Interesting.
It was pretty funny because
Greatest city on the planet.
It was really fun.
It's the only place where you can get there's 24-hour access to everything.
It was wild.
And that's one of the hardest things when you leave an area like that, and at 2 a.m. you suddenly have a craving for wonton soup. You have to remember that the rest of the world isn't like that. It's not,
right. Oh God! Speaking of food, that was the other thing I really enjoyed: the fresh made pastas at the Italian restaurants.
Yep.
The pizza in the wood fired ovens. Oh my God! Just the quality of food in the Chinese restaurants. I mean,
now I'm curious.
So yummy.
As to your take as someone who, and you and I have actually gone around on the show about New York and East Coast and all that. What was your view of the people?
Here's my first impression of the people of New York. We got there 4:30 Wednesday night. We caught a cab across because I finally talked my boss out of renting a car. I'm like,
where'd you fly into? Newark?
LaGuardia.
Oh, okay. Oh, Queens. Okay.
So we caught a cab and drove through the tunnel, and it drops you out right on 37th Street.
Oh God! And you got there at rush hour.
We were, and the verdict from the grand jury had just come out.
Oh, what a great day to get there! Wonderful.
Took us an hour and a half to get across town.
Oh, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Well, but we got our hotel was actually on 37th. So it was just a straight cut across town. But it was just the fact that the protesters had started to block all the traffic heading north or heading uptown towards Rockefeller Center because we all wanted to go see the lighting of the tree. So yeah, we got to the hotel, we dumped our stuff, thought about eating dinner, and realized we'll never make it down there. So we started walking towards Rockefeller Center, and by the time we hit 40th, it was so packed that it was like a sardine. You had to move, squeeze.
Yeah.
And throughout all of this, there had to have been, and I'm not kidding you, at least 100,000 people protesting.
Oh yeah.
And orderly, peaceful, and everybody was in it. For the most part, everybody was extraordinarily pleasant.
It's a great city in the holidays. It really is. There's a great vibe there.
And I think what was nice about it was that there was a common kind of feeling. Everybody who wasn't protesting truly understood what the protesters were there for and why they were angry.
Yeah, it wasn't like a WHO protest thing.
No, not at all. This wasn't about anarchy. This was about voicing anger. And they had the room, the space, and they stayed behind barricades and handed out balloons. I mean, it was just like, we're angry. Just talk to us. So it could have been a lot worse. The closer we got to Rockefeller Center, crazier it kind of started to get. get. And we got within about a block, and it was the mass of humanity was so bad that I could see the look in my boss's eyes, where he had that look of
like panic.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I know because you could tell that he had that. All it'll take is one gunshot in the air.
Well,
even
if they're that unfamiliar with a setting like that to begin with, and then you're heading into just even putting the protests to the side, even just heading into what's a major live television network event,
right,
where everyone's flocking to yeah.
It was. So I can wholeheartedly say throughout all of that, the tourists, the locals, and the protesters were extraordinarily lovely. All of it. For as bad as it could have been, it was actually a really fun experience. We gave it our best college try to get there, and just met the wall of humanity and said, not worth it. So we ended up going to Frankie and Johnny's for dinner.
Yeah, imagine what it's like during the Thanksgiving parade.
Oh yeah, no. Although I think Dan and Eve went from Farragut.
Oh, really?
Dan and Eve posted a bunch of pictures on their Facebook page that they had gone to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. So I did not. Yeah. So that was last week. I thought about you guys a lot. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much and not the least of which is I learned a lot. I really did go to the 2-day symposium, and
now that we did talk about on the show because we I think I told Scott you're at an insurance seminar.
Yep, that's what it was. It was it was the updates of coverage law. How's that for excitement?
Oh, it is.
There was the defense bar puts on a biannual or every year, twice a year, a conference on the updates in insurance law. Make sure that attorneys and don't deny claims they shouldn't be denied.
Well, I had something this week. Just let me just say this.
Yeah.
And this is based on an actual conversation with somebody. Look, if your idea of hilarity is Carrot Top, I'm not going to say he doesn't make me laugh, because he does make me laugh occasionally. But if your idea of hilarity is Carrot Top, and you tell me that Norm Macdonald has never said anything funny, I can't be your friend. Sometimes it just takes a lot to not just punch somebody in the face.
Oh my.
I can never wrap my head around that somebody doesn't get when an entire act is based on deconstruction. But
some people find that funny.
And Norm Macdonald and Colin Quinn both excel at that.
Yeah.
They will both tweet, Colin Quinn will tweet the most banal stuff, and you can tell exactly what he's doing. But the problem is that people don't look at context.
No, which is why we have so many problems with context.
Yeah, very much, very much. And
what about you? Oh, sorry.
It just, I just want to so go ahead.
What about you, Mike? What'd you do this week?
Well, it's been a busy week. Let's see. We had book club yesterday. We talked about Cast No Shadow by James Swallow. So, Steve, Terry, and I were there. So Steve is going to be editing it, so look for it sometime soonish. We also had an interview with Rico Anderson.
Wasn't that fun?
That was fun. Talented man. His current project is Star Trek Shadows of Tyranny. He's going to be in the Fifth Passenger. So,
God, he's in Renegades. He's in...
And my apologies to him. I got home that night from work and passed out.
We figured.
I was out cold. I woke up at 2 in the morning.
Oh, my.
Well, he's a very talented man and a huge Trekkie. Huge Trekkie.
That was
really
awesome. And we stumped him as usual with our Lipton questions. Let's see. I finished the first draft of the bios for the Fires of the Phoenix. So that is... that is currently in first draft state, so I'm decompressing, doing a palette cleanser now before I tackle the second draft. What else did I do? I think that was the big things. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun week. Glad I was able to kind of jump back into it. Rico Anderson was a sweetheart, real fun to talk to. I suggest everybody listen to the conversation. And then on yesterday we did the book club. We talked about Cast No Shadow by James Swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely conversation.
It's always a pleasure getting with you guys.
I also need to
Whether
send
or whatnot.
a thank you out to Scott Pearson and Audio Vixen for covering for me last week.
And Terry, he had to leave about 30 minutes in, so she stayed with us the rest of the show.
Sweet.
Yeah, she's the best.
Awesome. Well, I think we should get to some Star Trek news. What do you think?
Oh, well, real quick before we jump ahead, to our social media manager, Janet. She's running a 5K this morning. So good luck. Congratulations. Hope you do well.
Right,
yeah, don't say that to a runner.
Also, big news from her. This week, her book has been published. So in the chat room and in our show notes, you'll find a link to Riverdale Avenue Books. And her story is untrustworthy.
I don't think we know her well enough to say whether she's trustworthy or not. I mean, she's always been trustworthy for us.
The name of the book. Yeah. So.
I got Mike. You know what? We got to ask Terry. So, Terry, did you hear any Klingon accents while you were out there in New York City?
I did, just a few actually. Not a lot of people from Long Island were across that day.
No.
And again, because I was in Midtown, I was actually probably more around the tourists than I was anything else.
Yeah.
But I had a discussion about the Klingons of Long Island with somebody.
Did you have a bagel with schmear?
Was it Elio?
It was not Elijah. It wasn't Elio. Elio and I we laughed and we had crepes. You should have seen us.
And his lovely wife.
And his lovely. We had
another one that married way above himself.
He would agree with you. Uh-huh. He would totally.
Oh, I know. I think I told him that after we had Chinese that night in Vegas.
He's a sweetheart. And we had, after Thai food, we found, he was like, I really want to go I want to go to this crepe place. I want to go to this crepe place. He had never been there before. We walked in and it was like, you order a crepe. And oh my God, they were so good. We had Nutella crepes.
Right on.
Okay.
It's the name of our next band, Nutella crepes.
Nutella crepes. Let's get to some Star Trek news. Star Trek news. I am so proud to be a talkie geek.
We've got our problems with the film, which we'll get into on our dopey little podcast and nitpick it to death.
Star Trek news.
So congratulations to the always dreamy David Mack. There's Legos?
No. Star Trek news.
Yes, the story behind the story. The movie that never was made.
They got a Klingon!
I know.
Sold.
Klingon. That's right. I'm going to throw in a Buck Mackay rookie guard. That's right. A Buck Mackay for people. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Star Trek news. All right.
So, speaking of Star Trek news, what do you think of Benedict Cumberbatch being cast as Doctor Strange?
Why do you squirrel?
No,
we're gonna ride the squirrel from the first moment out. He's what?
He's an alum.
Yeah, he is. He is. But I was like, okay, I think it's kind of cool, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's fun that so many great actors are realizing and taking
the mouse's money
and the roles. I mean, these are larger than life roles that you don't get sent to you every so often, and he's so good at playing the serious drama pieces that to take something like Doctor Strange and a superhero-ish type of thing is.
Speaking of larger than life, I mean, come on, he played a dragon. I mean, it doesn't get any larger than that.
Did you see the interview with him on Stephen Colbert with
Yes,
Smaug?
that was freaking awesome.
That was awesome. Did you see that, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh God, cracked
He
up.
burned the
I'm a huge
place
Lord of the
down.
Rings fan, so that was awesome. All right, the first thing up after our Doctor Strange discussion. There's a lot of shit going on in the Marvel universe we could talk about later. That I'm like, oh my God, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and oh my God, all this other stuff.
Sky.
I know. And they killed him.
Dude, don't even.
Okay.
Had to be the black guy, right? Had to be the black guy.
Well, Mac is still there.
Well, yeah, but
I know. Now he ends up looking more like a token. But I hope I don't know. I was pissed.
No, nobody came out of that episode not beat the hell up.
That is for damn sure. Okay. All right, so Mashable.com. There's a great little article about some fan art, or not even fan art, just art that came out from Neil Cameron called Parks and Trek, where he took all the characters from Parks and Recreation and threw them into TNG uniforms.
Oh, right on. Yeah, awesome.
I think it's beyond awesome. These are just too funny. And so check it out, everybody. A little bit of science news that came out this week.
Uh-oh.
What?
I just realized, here we are about 30 minutes into the show. I forgot to hit record.
I'm recording. So you can get some of it for me.
Okay.
All right.
Nuts just
Well,
crawled into my
go ahead
stomach.
and start recording now. We'll have a backup for the second half.
Sorry for the interruption, everyone.
It's okay.
No, that was a good one.
That's a legit one.
Let me pull my testicles out of my stomach.
The next one is from CNET, and as well as other news sources as well. Alan and I were actually talking about it yesterday. As everybody knows, we as in like we had anything to do with it, but pretty much everybody in the UK Sciences Division sent out a satellite to a comet. It's called Rosetta. Everybody knows that the comet is actually, or the satellite is revolving around the comet as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some initial tests came back, and we've always known that comets had a lot of water on them, and there's always been a theory that Earth might have been seeded with its water by comets that slammed into it. Well, the tests that have come back have shown that that theory may now be put to the test, because in this one particular comet happens to have deuterium-rich water. And the reason why I'm bringing it up in Star Trek,
water,
because it is heavy. It's heavy hydrogen. It is a stable hydrogen isotope, and it's also what Star Trek fans know as being the catalyst for the antimatter-matter chamber, the mixture that happens in Star Trek ships. So that's why Star Trek needed deuterium, was because it needed it for its warp drive capabilities.
It's the matter of the antimatter, isn't it?
It is part of, yeah, I think so. I think that, I'm not sure how the science was supposed to work in Star Trek, but all I know is that it was what they were fighting over.
The big boom.
It's like what started the Klingon War, right? It's like everybody was fighting over deuterium. So this was kind of fun. Now everybody's like, woo, they found more deuterium and Star Trek's going to happen. I love our nerds. Our nerds rock. I'm going to wait for the big stuff until the very end, because we have to talk about that.
There's something bigger than the comet?
Oh, what? No, as far as Star Trek is concerned, oh, come on. Don't mess with me. We do have some sad news. Next Generation actor James Becker passed away this week. James Becker was a stand-in for the first 3 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation. He also was the stand-in for Jonathan Frakes for a lot of his scenes as well. So he passed away at the age of 48 in Iowa. Condolences to him, his family, and his friends, and to everybody on Star Trek The Next Gen who knew him well. Seemed like it was a kind of a cool thing. You got to do the stand-in work, and as a thank you gift for all of his work, when Frakes directed The Offspring in season 3, he gave Mr. Becker his only spoken line, and it was one word, and it was gentleman.
Right on.
All right, so now I have to ask you guys, you see that a new beer has come out from our friends at Federation of Beer, right? It's being released this week at Seattle. Did you guys talk about this last week?
No.
No.
All right.
So that's the Orion Syndicate Ale?
Yeah, the Syndicate lager. It's an actual lager. It's not an ale. However, my question is, how do you spell Syndicate?
Not the way that they did on the label.
Thank you. What the hell? I don't get it. Is it just because somebody else
Sin. Because Orion, slave girl on the thing.
I can see that, but I guess eyes are big this year because the Terminator Genesis or whatever it is. Eyes must be big this year. That's all
I'm just wondering whether or not there's another beer out there with the correct spelling that they couldn't use.
They're just playing on the word sin
on the winds. Okay. Well, pardon me for being a literalist.
Believe me, some of us still struggle with you on. And it's not like there's anybody else in my life that's a literalist either. Jesus.
So,
Mike,
did she
Mike,
say
you
something
have no
about
idea.
this? That's not how you spell syndicate.
You have no idea,
Mike.
Mike.
They should play up the first 3 letters in the logo somehow. If they're playing up on the word sin, then they really need to say, okay, I'm a literalist. I look at this and I go, fuck, they spelled it wrong. Because it just makes them look stupid. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, you said the same thing about when the title for the next Terminator movie came out. You were very displeased.
Yeah.
About, I remember you were calling it a typo, and we were hoping that it was, but apparently not. So
Yeah, I
don't know.
still can't figure out the spelling thing there for Genesis.
I have no idea.
Maybe
The trailer
Skynet
looks
fucked
badass.
it all up.
Skynet. There's time travel before there's time travel. So I mean, it's
I don't know,
just
but
like,
that's a shit hot trailer.
Yeah,
yes, it is. But so maybe Skynet erased all the Y's. I have no idea. I think I'm gonna go to bed again.
I'm just happy that they're putting out a lager, which I prefer. I prefer lagers over ale, so I'm very happy about this. Yeah.
I really hope that our placement this coming year is as great as it was last year.
I hope so too. I want to be across from Federation of Beer again, man.
And Geek Nation.
Hopefully they'll have some free samples.
Well, they don't. Well, they weren't allowed to hand out, right? Because of the
Yeah. But them, Geek Nation, the clothing people that were right across from us.
Oh, they were fun. The PJs with the feet.
Yeah, and the girl. No, the
the
Pendragon people. Yeah.
Pendragon. Yeah, they were fun too.
Oh, really? They were across from us?
They were directly across, Mike. Oh, yeah, the girl that was working
Right
with them,
on.
she was a hoot.
Right on.
Awesome. It was very cool.
She
the
was
next
Jewish.
thing- well, she was from Long Island. No, she wasn't, but
No,
she
she wasn't.
She could have been. I saw this and I thought I need one. So if anybody wants to get me something for Christmas, I'm just saying I want the Star Trek Academy hoodie. It is very nice. It's a complete zip-up hoodie with gray and then the Star Trek Academy or the Starfleet Academy symbol on the side. I want the hoodie. It's very nice. Whatever new. I got my Star Trek Ships of the Line book.
It's a pretty cool hoodie, actually.
The Ships of the Line book, edited by Doug Drexler and Margaret Clark and text by Michael Okuda, was released this week, finally, after being on preview or pre-order forever in a day. And it's beautiful. There's lots of new art that has been placed into this book that did not exist in the last one. However, most or many of the artwork from the first book is in the second book. It's not a volume 2. It is a re-edited version of the first book, just with a lot more stuff. Yeah.
Wait, which book is this?
The Ships of the Line.
Oh, okay.
The artwork book.
Interesting. So it's not like I was under the impression that they were going to go with a new book, kind of like with a different color as well on the cover, because the first one was what, blue or red, and this one's
the first
blue
one's
or red?
blue, the second one, this one's red, but I can tell you right now, there is a significant amount of art from the first book that's in this second book, and the reason why I thought about it, I go, God, that looks familiar. God, that looks familiar. Oh, that's from there. That's from the first book. That's from the first book. All the way down to the picture of the Columbia that's crashed.
Mm-hmm.
That was from the first book. That's in the second book.
Yeah, because that's what they asked Dave to write a novel around, and he wrote a trilogy.
Right. That's where the Destiny trilogy came from.
Everything.
Because that's Dave. Dave, here's a photo.
And but there is a lot more. So this book is significantly thicker than the first book. But
The thicker, the better.
And and so, but it's beautiful. It is very, very beautiful. So if you didn't have the chance of getting the first book, get the second book, because you'll have pretty much everything in it that you missed from the first one. Lovely.
Cool.
All right. So tell me
how to be a millionaire. A millionaire. Sorry, you said tell me. Start thinking of that old ABC song. Well, hello. Thank you, Sunseal. Oh, you know what? Sunseal just put this meme up. Let me. Okay. All right. Time out scroll. Right. To any fanboy in the sound of my voice who has the balls to bitch that Kate Upton is in commercials for a video game. Right. Because you would say no to Kate Upton. Get the fuck out of here and get over your fucking self. I actually saw some people say, oh, she just did it for the money. She doesn't play. Because why? Because she's a beautiful woman. She can't be playing this was World of Warcraft type game. Is that why?
Is that the what is it? The Game of War?
Yeah.
Oh, is that her?
That's her. That's Kate.
She's really pretty. Yeah. Alan is like, oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
she is.
Cool.
Remember,
how do we know she doesn't play?
Exactly. That's my point. And
it's
somebody
an
also
assumption.
said,
and you know what it is?
Oh, Nissal.
Another fucking
Mhm.
assumption. Another goddamn fucking assumption about whether or not women can play games even if they're pretty. God,
Speaking of
fuck you and the
beautiful
horse you
women,
rode in on, everybody.
Speaking of beautiful women that play games, hi,
Yes.
Lem.
Hi, Lem.
Hi, Lem.
Oh, Lem and Nissal Ghul in the same thread.
So I agree with you. So poof on them.
I saw somebody say, "Oh, and look at her, she's putting on weight." Oh, I'm sorry, she's got curves, and that offends you. You know what? My balls have weight. Come suck 'em.
We're not allowed to do anything. You have to be fucking perfect 100% of the time. You can't play games. You can't do that. You have to be subservient to men. You have to da-da-da-da-da.
Well, yeah, that part's
my
true.
God. You know
Terry,
what?
You know what?
Yeah,
God,
you know, kicking the balls to you, you know that's not true.
Terry,
and I know you know
there's
that's
a
not
reason that men created the stove, okay?
Yeah, so you can learn how to fucking cook on your own.
No.
Because you were out in the... No, just saying.
Yeah. But, but really, I lost it. I totally lost it. Because I think, there are some celebrities that I think, oh, God, hold on a second. Yeah, so Alan likes the commercial?
Yeah, so do I. I was like, not bad for what is, for all intent and purposes, a fucking browser game.
On the phone, too, if I think about it.
Yeah, it's a mobile RTS, I think.
But there's just something that...
I just think that, it doesn't matter. Women are the ones who get judged by how they look. If they're 10 pounds overweight, then, she put on a little weight. Or if they're underweight because they have to be...
Oh, Felicia Day's too thin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, she needs to eat... Well, no, there's a few people that do need to eat a cheeseburger. But that's for their health's sake, not because of how they look, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying they need to eat a cheeseburger because, damn, you're going to die. That's a bad thing. There's a difference.
That's different.
And you know what? Same thing. Maybe somebody like me who's as overweight as I am need to lose a little weight because it's a health thing. But I'll be damned if somebody says that Kate Upton isn't just one of the most beautiful, beautiful women. And whoever thinks that she's overweight, they need to have my stainless steel heel right in their anus.
And because, like Mila Kunis has played World of Warcraft pretty much since it launched. But I guess she's not a real player because she's insanely beautiful.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, you can be a girl now. And what double-edged sword is that? It's totally believable if you're a girl gamer and you're ugly?
Yeah, I guess. Well, you have to look.
Are they less of a threat?
Let me, I have to say it like this, and I think I am not saying that this person's ugly or anything like that, but the image that's portrayed is that Amy Farrah Fowler is the girl gamer.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. The kind of frumpy.
And that's my question. Is it because are less than gorgeous women less of a threat? I don't understand what the threat with women gamers is to begin with, but talk about a squirrel that we just went on. But
no, I know.
You're right. You're right.
Look at the.
Matthew Anderson, you started this.
Yeah. Actually, this was on my mind from like 2 weeks ago, and I had forgot about it because it pissed me off so deeply that I came across this message board, which, that in itself, but where it was a bunch of people, and it wasn't even... the person didn't even say it like... I really don't think they meant it in the way that they meant it, if that makes any sense. Man, I sound like Adam Carolla now. I think they were just, I think that when they typed it, it was like they were so stunned that Kate Upton, because let's face it, she's A-list, big time A-list, and that she's doing a commercial for a phone game, basically, and a fantasy one at that. You know what I mean? And I think that they were expressing surprise at that, but the way it came across was...
It's just... Yeah,
Kate
well,
Upton?
it came across
No,
that she
there's no
doesn't
way
have
that
the
Kate-
street cred for it.
Right.
Really, that's what it comes down to. She doesn't have the street cred for it. So that somehow she would have had to have proven herself in some fakey society, gamer society, to say, like Aisha Tyler.
Fanning myself.
Seriously, gorgeous woman, huge gamer, enormous street cred in the gaming community. Why? Because she fucking plays the games. She talks about them, and that's what a lot of her career is based based out of. Well,
or who was the girl that was on G4 that unbelievably she hosted that show with the guy? You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, and I don't remember her name, and I apologize. And real pretty, long black hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, again, but you know what? She didn't even get the credit because they thought
not
that
at all.
she
thought she
didn't
was
get...
hired just for her looks.
Yeah, of course.
Felicia Day. She doesn't get it because she's like the queen of the internet. But
Felicia Day wrote a book.
Yes, she did. It's just
so women play games where it's so crazy.
Look at Zero. Oh my God, Zero is hot.
Well, and here's the other thing: do you have to be hot? Do you have to be hot to have street cred as a female gamer or a female?
But if Zero, there's
I'm
guys.
What I'm saying is that we need to be very, very careful and make sure that
Olivia Munn. Thank you, Sensei.
Oh God, I adore her. Yeah. I adore her so hard. And
Terry's got a female boner.
I do. I mean, I absolutely I love her so much.
I'm sorry about this squirrel. It annoyed me because
it's the same shit that we've been dealing with since Gamergate started.
She can't play games. It's like and honestly,
women
I don't think somebody would have
win.
said it if it was Jennifer Lawrence, because I think people see her as kind of that girl next door kind of. You just picture her, even though she's this big glamorous celebrity, playing, sitting at home in sweats, playing Madden.
Jennifer Lawrence has the wherewithal to shine her own fandom. Is a representative of who we would think we would be if we were put in her position, which is she's at the Academy Awards and she's gawking like, oh my God, look who I'm sitting next to, right?
She's as big a fan as anybody else.
She's as big a fan as anybody else, and she lets that. So we connect on that level with her. And when it comes to, but it's the same shit we've been dealing with since Gamergate started, and that is, it doesn't matter what a woman says, how a woman looks, what a woman does. The fact is that somehow we're put into a position of having to fucking prove ourselves to a group of no brain, no balls, fucked in the head, immature boys. Why? Why are we doing this? Why do we even give a shit? We own 52% of the gaming community now, soon to probably push 60% in the near future. Let our money talk for ourselves, and the little pouty boys can go shit in their own playground and whine about how the girls are taking over everything. Well then, fuck it. There, I'm done.
Hey, Terry, that leads me to a question. Women are what percentage of the population?
The globally?
Yeah.
I think it's 52, 53.
Or even in the United States.
I think it's closer to the 50% range in the U.S.
If so, globally women are the majority, right?
By a hair, yeah.
How? Nah, never mind.
Because I was going to say because there's a whole societal. We make less than men do, and not all of us are allowed to work as play outside the United States. So our economic power doesn't have our dollars by the same amount that a man's does.
Sorry, I just found something I had to put in the chat room. There you go.
All right.
Because when you look like that, you're not allowed to be a gamer, evidently.
I will never understand it. I don't understand if it's jealousy. And you know what? Women are just as bad sometimes about that. Where it's like, oh, she's, we're trained to hate each other, especially if they're beautiful.
One more tiny side squirrel. Have you seen the Hunger Games movies, Terry?
No.
Oh, okay. The new one is phenomenal.
Cool. I have not. We really need to talk about, because I didn't get a chance to talk about it with you guys, a lot of it going on. So tell me, what did you guys say about Orsi's step down as director of Star Trek 3?
Oh, yeah, we did discuss it. Well, like Scott said, we were confused at first. In that it suddenly it was being said that he wasn't already, that he hadn't had the job and stepped down, and then we were like, wait a minute, we thought there was a ton of news that he did have it, so there was some confusion there.
Right.
It was pretty brief, if I remember it correctly. I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time on it.
No, but I do like the social media campaign that a certain somebody has said, I will.
This leads into it. Well, did you see, speaking of social media, did you see that Orsi revised revived his social media, or I should say his at least presence on the internet, over at trekmovie.com.
Did he?
I did see that. Yeah.
You saw that? Here, I'll put the link in the chat room. It is very interesting. He actually responds to a lot of in the comments section, and pretty much poo-poos some of the rumors that were going around. There is a rumor going around that he left because he didn't like the script and that it didn't come, that he was off the project entirely. Well, everybody knows that's kind of not the case, because Bad Robot still, I believe, technically is still the producer, and he's still the producer on this, which means he still holds creative control. And that somehow it involved this time travel that would have corrected everything that JJ, quote unquote, messed up.
No, they made their bed. They need to lie in it for a while. I think that's a cheap cop.
Well, that was the rumor. That was the rumor, that he left because the script corrected everything. And Orsi was like, yeah, that's not true. He's like, no time travel was ever considered for the script, which is kind of nice to hear. He still says he will be very involved, and that he's still very excited to make Star Trek 3, and on time will find the right director. Then on the heels of all of this, as social media will do, a hashtag was born called Bring in Riker, where the fans are like, oh God, just bring somebody who fucking knows Star Trek. And
the last tweet on his thing, somebody said, would you be up for Frakes directing? And his response is, I'm a huge fan.
I would love it. I think that Frakes would have chops. Give him a decent budget and we know what he can do.
Yeah. So, quick question, going back to the article, or to the rumors. So, yes. The rumor that Paramount was unhappy with the script is unfounded, untrue?
No, that's not what I was saying. The rumor was that I had heard was that he left because he didn't like the script.
Okay. The rumor that I had heard was that was in regards to Paramount being unhappy with the script, and they I guess there was talk that it's been pulled and going to be revamped again. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I was trying to figure out.
I don't think any of us really know what the heck is going on. The fact is they don't have a director.
Isn't it kind of late to be going back to script, though?
They have until the end of next year. No, they have until 2016.
Yeah.
They technically have years to get this film done. There's plenty of time.
Okay.
Because they can release this movie in December of 2016 and still call it the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. If it came out in December, it's 2016, I'm okay with that. As long as it's during the calendar year of 2016.
I think so, too. I think that they're going to have to push it back. I don't think that there's any way that they're going to be able to do a heavy CG movie in less than 18 months. I think they have to do it in 24.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get a director in place pretty quickly. And the script rewrites, if they need to have them done, those can be done on the fly, unless they're going to gut it. I mean, I can't imagine.
Well, that is what I had heard. It was that they were planning to gut it, but I don't know. I don't remember where I saw this. So it's probably untrue, but it was disconcerting, and it's like, because of how long it takes, especially for special effects on a movie of this scale, they're going to need all the time they can get. And if they have to go back to story, it's just going to be cutting it close.
Let me be fair with something here. We know the backstory of Star Trek II and what they went through and what Nicholas Meyer had to do. So, it can be done. He basically did that like in a weekend. So it can be done. It's just got to be in the right hands.
True.
You know what I mean? Because there was like 5 or 7 scripts for Star Trek II that they had that they didn't like any of them, and he melded them all into that one. So, and again, we really don't know. When it comes to RC, sometimes there's a lot of stuff floating out there just because the guy has people that are detractors from the word go, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I was actually quite optimistic about this, about his potential of being even a first-time director, of being able to handle it. I was more concerned, as everybody should have been, I think, about the script. If there seems to be some significant issues with the script, and to the point where the powers that be at Paramount are kind of like, no, and they're, as Suits have known to do, that isn't necessarily a good thing. I'm now actually little concerned that maybe, I don't know, is there manipulation going on from the suits from Paramount? And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Are they protecting us or are they making it worse?
There's somebody that I wish we could talk to that who would be able to, you know who I'm talking about.
I know.
Well,
can't.
I know.
You have to. Orsi has said pretty much all along that he wanted to take this new film in a different direction. You know, the 5-year mission, more exploration. You know, it was seeming like it was going back to its roots.
We were hearing some very hopeful things.
Yeah, and that he was saying all the right things to make me very happy. And now this, and again, as far as I know, it's just a rumor. And for all I know, it came out of my ass. I don't know. But
well, here's where I'm going to throw that gasoline onto the fire. All right,
That's what we do,
and it is what we do. But one of the things that came out of all of this was somebody had put in the comment section that, you know, they were kind of disappointed that he had removed himself or had been removed, and he was like, "You should fight back." And his response was, on the contrary, that factored into this decision. There are bigger chairs to consider.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really interesting.
All right, so here's my out of the ass theory, and here it comes. I think the script is fine. I think they need a new director. I think Orsi has proven himself so well in television, and he already has a working relationship with CBS. I'm thinking they're going to put Orsi in charge of a new Star Trek TV.
he has more experience in television, I think.
He's got a ton of experience in television.
So yeah, I can see that.
Maybe it's a better fit. He'll still be the Bad Robot producer for the film. Get people with the film experience in. If they have a decent script, they just need the director. They can start rolling on that. He can oversee it, but he can start the.
You think he's going to be the?
I do. I think he's going to be the Berman. I think he's going to be the. I think he's going to be the Berman Braga of the next series. I really do. I think that they're going to put him into a position of letting him run creatively with a JJ Universe show.
That would be a bigger seat.
Yep, it really would. I'm everybody I talk to who even has him on the periphery says this is a guy who really was the Star Trek fan. Of all of the Bad Robot guys, he's the one who was the quote unquote the capital T, the Star Trek fan. He really did understand them, and that he.
Because I never heard him say Talkie Geek Fest. I'll say that.
No. He wasn't, and that's why I had so much hope for this movie. Was I thought, you know what, maybe he's gonna push it in the right direction. We're starting to. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I just happen to think that he's got the money, the background, and with how great. And I'm having a ball with Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I didn't realize he was involved with that too.
Isn't he? Yeah, isn't he?
Is he a producer?
And it's it's fun. I think that he's got the chops for TV, and they got to do something for the 50th, or else it's sad when what was, and mind you, everybody, my personal opinion. But I watched it myself, okay? But you don't have a first-rate, quote-unquote, first-rate show in the United States that stayed on PBS on Saturday afternoons for 30 years. It only started getting its life back 10 years ago, and that's Doctor Who. But when you've got Doctor Who kicking your ass in the global community of fandoms, because its 50th anniversary seemed to, really hit on a global scale, they're finally getting that global exposure. Let's face it, the first two JJ movies were global hits. They played very well in the UK, Australia, Europe. They made more money there than they did in the United States. They need a television show that can sell on a global scale. And I think that Orsi can do it.
It's interesting, and I agree. He does have the experience for TV a lot more than on film, so that is definitely interesting, and I hope it's true. Now, I just hope they get someone with phenomenal movie experience to get him, or to get the movie done.
Who was considered to be the front runner right off the bat? It was Edgar Wright.
Right, I think, yeah.
And he has experience with making films. Were they high budget films? No.
There were comedies as well, which compared to the first two films probably does not fit, but that could be a good thing for this
And
one.
he did just step aside from Ant-Man.
From Ant-Man.
And he also, who knows? I have a feeling, it's going to sound weird. I have a feeling that they're looking at a caper film for the third movie. I think that we're going to see more comedic elements in this next movie than we will for the first two, because they've
As
already
long as
established the
there's not a
characters.
Willy Wonka engine room.
Well, that's too late. They've already established that.
Yeah, that's canon.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's because it's the Budweiser Brewery in Van Nuys. They can get that pretty much on a moment's notice. It's an easy set. They don't have to build it. They can just plug in and go. I'm more like I think Wright has the talent. I love the movies that he made. I love the Cornetto trilogy. I love and Marv, who's in the chat room, will verify it. He's heard me say it on multiple occasions. I happen to think that Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of the world's most perfect films. I love that movie. I love it so hard. I've watched it probably 5 times in the past 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. And so I see him as being a great storyteller. So I think he'd be great. Do I think that Frakes could handle it? Hell yeah, I really do. I think that you give a director a wonderful cast they have with Chris Pine and Carl Urban and Zoe Saldana. Ooh, congratulations on your twins, Zoe.
Oh, did she have twins?
She had twins. She had 2 babies. I know. And they just have such enormous Simon Pegg. I mean, they just have such enormous talent and I happen to think that Frakes is a really good director for actors. There's some directors that are really good directors for Peter Jackson happens both. He can direct both CG and actors. But
You know who is
Frakes is really good for actors.
You know who in doing like reading and stuff, do you know who's not considered an actor's director? As a matter of fact, really doesn't even care for actors, is Ridley Scott.
Well, that's kind of not surprising, really. I understood that as well. That but you know what?
He's much more technical.
Well, he comes from a technical background. He goes with what he knows, right? He's not an actor. And that's why sometimes actors make better directors for actors. And a great director is somebody who's going to be a great director for actors who brings in somebody who understands, right?
Like Jon Favreau is a good example of that.
Yeah, exactly. But you bring in Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon's an actor's director.
Very much. You know who my dream to direct a Star Trek movie, and could you imagine Christopher Nolan directing a Star Trek movie?
I don't know. I guess I would have to see what kind of a script he would get. I have to say I'm 50-50 on his work. But
All right, I gotta go.
I know. I know you're a fanboy. We've already done Into Darkness. Can Nolan do something a bit lighter? Really?
Imagine him, and you say later, but I had started to say this before you said that. Imagine if he was to do the motion picture.
I see. That's so hard because.
People, for our audience that don't realize, the director of Star Trek the Motion Picture, Robert Wise, if you don't know who he is, IMDb him. You might be stunned to see his credentials. The problem with that movie was the studio.
What interference has occurred? Who's the one who threw the roadblock in there? Was Orsi the one that said, "Yeah, this just isn't for me. I'm not going to do that," or is he be given it a better opportunity? And what kind of interference are they getting from the suit? That's what's going on over at Paramount.
I think Braga should direct it. And
that'll guarantee that it's
time travel.
Time travel.
I'm sorry.
I had made a tweet this week about some new film that was coming out that was time travel related, and I said, "Oh, Braga must be behind it."
Is it Terminator?
He was so nice to us at
it must have been
was
Terminator
so nice.
film.
He was so nice to us in Las Vegas that I think I would love to sit down with him and just talk with him.
I just don't think he had the time.
I would really love to sit and talk with him because I'm much more understanding of the process now. I have a comprehension of and everybody has, as you would say, a milieu, right? As a milieu.
Suddenly we've become fucking Peter Sellers.
But William Dingman put this on my Facebook page. He says, in my latest Bring in Riker tweet, I suggested they use TNG, DS9, and Voyager actors in small roles and backgrounds and walk-bys as Easter eggs for fans for the anniversary movie. Does this sound cool or too much? I want you to talk about it on the next G&T show.
TNG and DS9 actors as Easter eggs.
Like background.
He says the movie is for fans, so let's have more fun with it. How cool would it be to have a quick bridge shot of conversations with Kirk and another captain being played by Patrick Stewart, or in a JJTOS uniform, or Jerry Ryan as an Orion girl, or Frakes and Sirtis walking by as a random Starfleet couple.
I appreciate the sentiment.
I would say
the JJ.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
All I want to say is Jeffrey Combs as anything.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give him that one.
I would be so happy if it was just Jeffrey Combs as anything.
You know what, Mike? That's a great. The Enterprise Blues Band members somewhere in the background would be.
A bar scene with the Enterprise Blues Band.
Yeah,
just
that
all
would be an
make that. Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's
Jeffrey
an idea.
Combs and get Casey
Get Casey Biggs
and Vaughn Armstrong and God, could you imagine Max without makeup?
Just as a bar scene, that'd be hilarious. All right,
there seems to be a bar scene in every film, so it makes sense that there would probably be another one. And why not? I mean, Return of the Jedi, they had their bar scene and they had their own little music stint. Why not? Why not?
Okay, we're rooting for Enterprise Blues Band to be in the next film. There you go.
There you go.
I think the main title actors would be too much.
Yeah, I think so too. And
I mean, it would be kind of a step down for them, because they went from these big roles to all of a sudden no lines. It just seemed like, I don't know. It just seemed much. But a character like Jeffrey Combs would be just awesome.
The character actors would be a nice touch. The character actors, and not the least of which is it would be hilarious if you could just get. It would be like an Easter egg is to have Enterprise Blues Band in there singing one of their songs that nobody else knows, right? But it would be about Star Trek. It would be very, very meta.
And if it's a bar scene, I'm sorry, you have to have Morton sitting at the bar.
Poor guy with hair.
Those are Easter eggs. Those are Easter eggs, William. That's what we're going with. Those are Easter eggs. It's the little set piece. It's the little nod.
We don't know how long Morton's species lives. I mean, for all I know, he could have
Wouldn't
had
that be
hair
hilarious? Oh my God, that would
With
be
everybody,
funny as shit. I love that.
And everybody around him just falling down in laughter from a story that we still don't get to hear.
Told.
Yeah. or like, I can so see Chris Pine walking away, like pointing his thumb back, like, I don't know who that guy is, but he's hilarious. And Spock being something like Captain, we have, you know what I mean? Or Scotty coming up.
Make that happen. I think we need to start a new hashtag. It's Morn and ST3. Morn for ST3. I love it. I love that idea a lot. That's such a great. Now, here's a question for you. I know that we're kind of done with Star Trek news right now, but do we have an Ask Dayton this week?
I did not receive one.
No, I did not send him one
He's
this week.
He's been a busy man, so.
I had the newspaper this week, and it was the last issue of the year, so.
Oh, good for you. That's right. Well, I wanted to make sure before I moved forward.
Well, real quick,
go for it.
If you guys have questions for Ask Dayton, keep sending them to host@gntshow.com.
Oh, and
we have Mike, did we ever put out our new email addresses?
Not yet.
Okay. No, but the host's account is working, and you guys don't have to give out your personal ones unless you guys want. But
sure, why not? Then I can have someplace new to get hate mail.
If you want. I figured those would be for official business purposes. Yeah. But yeah, right, host is working again. Oh, sorry, Terry.
No. Host is working. Hosts@gntshow.com. Send your questions to Dayton there, and we'll get them over to him so he can get working on them.
And since we mentioned the website that the email is working, quick heads up. I'm thinking shortly after the new year, I'll roll out the new site, which you can check out right now at gntshow.com/GNT_test if you want to check it out.
It's pretty. I really like the new setup. New artwork will be coming in not too distant future.
Because we hold our production meetings on air.
Yes.
Have we rescheduled Mark Cushman? Did I?
No, we have not yet.
Okay. Okay.
We're done for the year with interviews. So when we get back to it after the new year, he'll be top of my list.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to talk briefly about Star Trek Online.
Sure.
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
I've seen many complaints about lag times and server drops and all kinds of stuff.
I got the game crashed on me twice yesterday, which.
Oh wow!
I have a complaint as well.
However, I also.
We'll start by saying we love you, Al.
And I also have some good things to say. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad. But
I think Sunsail is sitting forward in her chair, ready to type furiously.
It's yeah. There's some stability issues that I've seen.
It started with the latest patch, which also broke Tides of Ice.
Now I heard they fixed that with a secondary patch yesterday. Is that true?
I'm still not getting credit for completion.
See,
So
and I am.
the bug.
I didn't have.
So you go through the whole mission and then don't get credit?
You don't get credit, and
that sucks.
And because the rewards are gated, you have to, like, for instance, for the warp core, you have to go through that mission 10 times.
10 times.
That's a bit of frustration. I saw someone who had run it 13 and was hoping to finally unlock it, but no. And although I'm not as close as 10 yet, but the thought that all of these times that I've been running them, I'm still not earning credit. It's kind of disappointing.
Are you
Sunsail is yelling in the chat room.
Mike, are you seeing any? You're getting credit for you're opening the gates lower?
I'm getting rewards for completing each wave, which is a bit annoying because they're pop-ups in the middle of the action. But I can live with that. It's just when you finally get to the end, you don't get the completion reward, and the credit for doing the mission.
Well, now what's funny is I don't get a completion reward, but all of my gates are open now in the vendor.
Yep. Mike, I isolate that. Terry saying all of my gates are open.
I will try.
Okay.
Okay. I was supposed to let go of the button when I coughed. Damn it.
Oh, I thought you were
tired.
reacting to what I said.
No, I'm just tired, and I'm talking with the button not pushed, and then I'm not talking when I push the button, and I'm coughing when I'm not. I'll just sit over here.
Sunsail is yelling something about. She said gates were a bad idea. I don't know why Gates McFadden is a bad idea, but that's
Well, one of the issues that I have with the gates is some items that were readily available last year were locked when it first started. So you had to.
Is this all for the winter event?
Yeah, it's all for the winter event.
Okay. Yeah, I
so
don't do those.
Things that you had access to last year from the get-go, you now had to earn to get access to again, which I found annoying. But
wait a minute, is it something you need to complete the thing that you then have to earn, but so you can't complete it until you earn it? I don't understand.
Well, there's a new mission in the winter event called Tides of Ice. It's essentially assimilated Borg snowmen. That come down in these huge waves. And actually, it's a blast to play.
It's fun.
It's fun. And you play that 10 times, and then you go over to the little Ferengi who offers you, where you can get the guns, the snow guns and the new costumes.
The costumes and
And now there's 3 or 4 more items that you can get, which are
there's a lot more than 3 or 4.
Well, no, really, it's really only 3 or 4. There's only 4 new costumes. There's only 3 new modules, and there's 2 pieces to the Breen set. It's really not that much.
Well, the costumes, there's 3 of each costume as well. So yeah, I was counting those individually.
Oh, because they're different colors.
Yeah, there's 3 of each color, and then there's 3
but
colors.
They unlock all at the same time.
All of those, yeah, and then the engines are the only thing that unlock at level 10, I do believe. So
they lifted the gate rewards. What's that mean?
They lifted the gated rewards, so they did. did. So everybody now has access to the gated rewards. So the Ferengi, Nick, to give you an idea of what happened, the Ferengi had these new items, right? You had to play Tides of Ice to unlock the lower level stuff first. Then you had to play it like 5 times to unlock the modules. And then you had to play it 10 times to unlock the Breen engine. And that was it. Well, some people weren't getting credit for completing that mission. And so their rewards were never, the gates to those rewards were never being lifted. I personally didn't have a problem with it. It unlocked for me.
Well, if what Sun is just said is true, then they got rid of the gates. So it should be available for everyone. Granted, I haven't checked the actual gates for a few days now, so it's possible. But at the last time I checked, I still couldn't get the engines. But I had earned everything else. So
you have the ship and everything too now?
The ship, I'm 3/4 of the way there. I had a lot of stuff left over from last year.
Did you see?
So I bought all the new stuff. I had enough of the little ornaments to buy all the new stuff. I still have enough ornaments to buy the engines as soon as they unlock. I had over half of the Q portraits. So, yeah, just a few more days and I'll have my Breen ship.
Sunsail just posted the forum patch notes for the info on that to get that out.
Cool.
I had a good time with it. I personally don't play for the ship because I don't have any of the Breen ships from the past.
I do. I'm just trying to complete the set or whatever.
Yeah. And since I never started this set, I didn't feel the need to finish it. So I think I got to about 480 of those little photographs of Q, and then I threw everything back into my bank because I got the costume that I wanted, and then I was kind of done. I won't need the Breen set. I won't need any of that because I'm not going to have the ship. I just got Beth into her Tier 6 Delta, the intelligence escort, and I'm loving that, having a good time.
Well, I plan to continue. I don't spend a lot of time. I'm spending less time in this one than I have all the previous ones. But I'm planning on continuing on playing like 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. Just stocking up stuff for next year, really, because I already have everything I need for this year. As soon as I buy the engine and finish the ship, yeah.
Now to get to the happy part of mine. All right, so I got Beth to level 57 yesterday. Now the winter event, I have to say, helped her with her leveling.
Right on.
I was able to do a bunch of stuff, to do the winter event. So that then I went back down to Defera and was able to kind of grind out some of the stuff on ground while I waited to get to level 57 to open up and unlock a couple of new missions. And all I have to say is, I was not expecting that. I don't want to give away spoilers for people who haven't gotten through some of the Delta Rising story.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was distracted by the chat room. Which mission did you get through?
What was it called? It was the one where you've resolved everything. It was the one where you go, you fight the Vardwar at the ship, you blow up the chemicals that they were going to use, you go back down, and then you do the final mission with Harry Kim. You go back into the temple.
Oh, so this is on Kobali Prime?
On Kobali Prime. Sorry, I kept saying Defera.
Okay, I'm with you
on
now.
Kobali Prime. And then there's the cutscene at the end of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, I even turned around at Alan and I was like, oh my God, Christine, Al, everybody, you knocked that one out of the park. Because I did not see it coming. And I loved that. I thought to myself, that's just fucking awesome.
I want an explanation. I want to know what that means. I want to know. So come on, we need more story. Come on.
What, you don't know where that comes from, right?
No, I know where that comes from. I just want to know what happens next in that regard.
Oh shit. This is what I love about Star Trek Online is right when I start to get, oh my God, it's just a grind. But the story, Christine, and if you wrote that one, honey, I'm just saying, congrats, loved. I almost don't want to, now I'm like, oh, that was so good. Can't wait to get through more. I know I chew it up. I love the story, love where this is going. What a kick that was. Cause I turned around and I remember that episode of Voyager when?
Yeah. Question for you. On the story progression in the episode story progression, have you gotten to Dragon's Deceit yet?
Well, see, I'm remembering the names of the episodes. I think so. Yeah, because that's where. Well, yeah, because Dragon's Deceit's the one where. All right, you guys, if you don't know and haven't gotten through this yet, then you're just going to have to deal with the spoilers. Nick, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. And Dragon's Deceit's the one where you go and you find out the Kobali are hiding the Vodwar stasis pods.
No.
All right.
Dragon's Deceit is not on Kobali Prime at all.
No. Okay, but then you go and you find out that the Vodwar are under control of the parasites.
Yes, that is Dragon's Deceit. The moment you discover that one,
that was so fun.
It is fun. So fun. And it was like it worked so well.
Oh yeah. So now we have the parasites from TNG back, and at the end of this most recent episode that I did, something about I don't know what the name of it was, but it's you go back into the temple. The Kobali have said, you know what, we'll give these stasis pods back to the Vodwar whenever there's a moment of peace that we can do that, and we promise we won't use their bodies to create more of us anymore. We'll go out to other planets and say we'll make them an offer and see if they take us up on it. I like that idea of it, but it was that cutscene that went back up when you kind of see who's in one of those stasis pods, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. So that's where I'm at. I have not moved forward from that point on. I think I have.
Well, I had one of those experience boosts, so I had hit that up, and so I wasn't doing things in, I guess, the intended order. I was actually able to get through all of Kobali Prime in a single run through. I didn't have to go back and forth like
I have to go back and forth.
Okay,
well, I was silly. I admit it. I had like one of those 8-hour boosts from 5 years ago, and I think because it was bound to character, I threw it away. I just destroyed. That was when we all needed bank space.
Yeah.
Before they extended it. And I was like, yeah, when's the next time I'm going to need this? I destroyed it. Yeah. I am very, very happy with the way the story is progressing, though. I love.
There's a new PvE queue available for you now. Have you noticed?
There's Bug Hunt, which I have not yet done.
That is the one that unlocks with Dragon's Deceit.
Yes. I have not yet played it.
It's fun. You'll like it.
Good.
It's reminiscent of the Undine one that you like.
Oh, good. Okay, I can do that.
You'll like it.
And I started playing. I did the Alachi Yuhiki, the PvE queue for the Alachi one.
I haven't done that one yet, but yeah, right now there's a Mark weekend going on that's associated with it.
Yes. So it's a bonus Mark event where if you undertake the PvE for the Ilachi attack, it's science ships are trying to disrupt one of the Iconian gates. And you have to protect the science ships from the Ilachi who come through the gate trying to stop them. Simple enough.
I remember it, yeah.
It bugged for me the first time I played it.
Oh, no.
It was really funny. And here's a tip. It took me a while to figure out what the problem was, but I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but I ended up being a level 56 that got roped into a level 60 team. And my appearance there ended up being like the crutch against everybody else. So we didn't reach the first level of whatever the goal was to kill so many and you get a bonus. Didn't reach that first level of bonus so 3 people in the team left mid mission and left me hanging there trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing. I went back to the fleet and I was like, what's going on? Is this bugged? What did I do? Well, we tried to create a team so we could do it together and realized that level 60 players cannot play with players under them. They're automatically queued for the advanced, not the normal. So if you're trying to set up individual team of 5 and you have one player who's not a level 60, they won't be able to get in. And level 60s can't drop down. Isn't that weird? I just thought that was really weird. Good news is now that when I queue for the PvE queue for the Ilachi, it played much better for me the second time because I was playing at normal level and I was playing with other players that were not level 60. They were 59 and lower. And it was a much more pleasant experience and it was fun. Actually, I enjoyed it. I don't like space battles a lot, but that one was fun. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I'm still I haven't heard if they fixed the issues with the PvE queues yet. With Elite and Advanced. Last time I tried Advanced, it was just so difficult to get even a completion, because if you don't hit all of the what are optionals on normal play, if you don't hit all those, automatic failure, which is so aggravating.
I know that it can be.
Yeah.
Well, I now have about 1,000 Delta marks, and I'm working on tier 4 of my Delta reputation, which is good. I like to kind of hoard them and get them through, so I don't have to worry too much about. There might be days where I won't be able to pop in and play, but at least I can
still drop in and
do the reputation. So
I'm tier 5. I've unlocked let's see, I've got the ground set already.
Cool.
I'm working on the auxiliary, the weapon set. I still have to do the engines, the deflector, and that. I still have to do that set, but I pretty much unlocked the weapon set already. So I'm still chugging away slowly, but it's getting the ancient devices that are a pain.
Right.
But I'm able to do bug hunt on advanced, so I get them that way. So
good.
That would be my suggestion. If you decide to go after any of the gear, do it on advanced. Do bug hunt on advanced, and you can get it.
Okay, so you can get them on advanced. You don't have to do them on elite.
Yeah, I think you get more on elite, but yeah, advanced works.
Then that's what I shall do. Everybody's doing the cosplay trade-off in the chat room today. I think it's kind of cute.
Well, earlier it was like the Cola Wars for TNA.
I know. I'm not afraid of pretty women.
I certainly am not.
I want to give a shout out to the people at enterpriseinspace.org. If you guys haven't voted yet, go over and vote for your favorite design for the satellite.
Yep. They got some interesting ones. I was going back and forth between like 3 or 4 of them.
I was too. And but I love the one that looks like it was done by a little kid. Just the looking one. I thought, oh, that's cute.
Do you have a link for that?
I put it in the chat room just now. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
That was the wrong link.
All right, copy, paste.
It's
not doing it.
I was thinking about submitting one as well, but my skills are not all that great when it comes to drawing. I mean, I can do a mean stick figure Klingon, but that's about it.
Nick, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was laughing at stick figure Klingon.
I heard him laugh, but it kind of broke up, and I thought, was he trying to say something on top of it?
No, I was laughing at stick figure Klingons.
Yep.
Here's the link that I also want to give a shout out to Dayton Ward, who posted about this book that really sounds interesting. And I'm going to put the Fog of Ward as a link for this because everybody should read what Dayton wrote about. I had no idea this book was coming out. Did you?
No, kind of snuck up.
It's called Return to Tomorrow, the filming of Star Trek The Motion Picture by Preston Neal Jones. Apparently, Mr. Jones conducted over 60 interviews during the filming of the motion picture and pretty much caught a complete story of all of the politics that were involved in making that film and the drama that went along with that. This is a huge book. It's 650 plus pages. It's huge.
It sounds like the motion pictures version of Mark Cushman's book. I want to get my hands on this.
It's called An Oral History of the Legendary Production, Documented as It Happened. And so read what Dayton has to say about it, but you can pick it up at your favorite bookseller. And
it's by Preston Neal Jones. That's cool.
There's that.
Looks like people are having trouble with our chat room. A lot of people get kicking out and kick back in, and very odd.
Very odd. And finally, and I'm sorry for everybody in the chat room, but finally we need to say hey to everybody over at Phase 2 New Voyages, Star Trek New Voyages. Their latest episode has been posted on YouTube called Mind Sifter.
Oh,
congratulations.
That's out. I need to check that out.
And I will put the link. There you go. So yay. Congrats to Star Trek New Voyages. I know that they were working very, very hard on this, and they're very proud of the script, and it looks exceptional.
This episode episode was long delayed, if I remember correctly.
It was a little bit, but it got back on track.
That's
It got
awesome.
back on
Congratulations,
track.
guys. I'll be checking that out sometime later. Let's see. Farragut, if you donated to their Kickstarter, they released a new trailer to their Kickstarter donors for their upcoming episode. So I saw that. It looks interesting. Another good story. So go Fan Productions.
Yay. Unofficial Productions, Independence. I don't know.
Oh, Mad Wolf. Yeah.
Yes.
In the chat room. Our good friend Oren. He has closed up shop for all things Trek.
Yeah.
Their final episode has been released. We will miss having that show. Having that show as one of our sister podcasts.
We will miss them very much.
We wish you luck in whatever new endeavors you undertake, Oren. Thank you.
And we expect you to pop in every so often and give us grief.
Oh,
I am going to miss Oren's neutrality on things, that he never really took a stand on things.
I love how you said that with such a straight face. It was great. Do we have any other announcements?
Just calling it like I see it.
Announcements, yes. I think lots of them. Let's see. This coming week, so Friday, the new episode of for Starfinder will be out. So that's A Gorn of a Different Color Part 2 will be out on Friday. So be sure to check that out. January 2nd, there will be the final part of the Klingon mini-series that Starfinder and Gates have crossed over and done and created. That will be out January 2nd. Messages from the Outback Part 2. So and that completes the four-episode mini-series. So be sure to check that out as well. There has been rumors, there's been talk that Starfinder will be crossing over with Oren's Tales from the DMZ. That's turning out to be interesting as well. So that's only preliminary stuff. I'm waiting on one more audio file for Marv. Hey, Mike, who did Nausicaan Part 1? I think that was you. That was Marv. Let's see. Gates of Silvercore, I'm waiting on one more piece of audio to get episode 3.1 or season 3, episode 1. Start editing that. So yay! We're going to be needing like 150 plus voices. So I'll be making announcements. If you want to be in Gates of Silvercore, we need voices. So send me an email at hosts@gatesofstovercore.com. Send me a tweet. Send me a message on Facebook. Whatever. Because we need help, and we're going to be jumping into full production very, very soon. Let's see. Other BLB related news. It's official. I've spoken with the author that I'm doing the Fires of the Phoenix with, the comic that I'm collaborating with, and they have joined BLB. So that will be a future BLB production. I have written a blog post about it on my site. I will share that. 1 second. So that's kind of like, that's how the project came about, if you want to check that out. I'm planning on releasing a new story this afternoon to my site as well, so you might want to hang out for that as well. And then finally, GNT news. Website should be upgraded come January. The fundraiser is still going on. We still need help to get the subscriptions portion, but the major work is done. So if you can, please continue to contribute. Holy cow. If you can't, damn chat room. If you can't, that's fine. But we appreciate everything that you've done for us so far, getting us this far, and we are grateful and humbled and very, very appreciative. Thank you. And I think that's all I got at the moment that I can remember. Oh, I'm rewriting. I'm going through Bone Scripts right now and making some adjustments. So production on that should be starting up soon. Okay, I think I'm done now.
Today is a kind of interesting day. It's the only day that we'll have in our lifetime where this happens. At at 3:16 and 17 seconds, it will be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
That
was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Fuck, never mind.
But it was cool. We lived it. You didn't know it, but you lived it.
Yeah. We survived.
We survived it.
We
and
survived it.
The world didn't go to hell in a handbasket, even though it was. That's awesome.
A mathematician's dream.
Yeah. Tell me. Any other announcements, my dears? Nick, everything good with you?
I'm good.
Yeah, awesome. I think I'm good too. How about you, Terry? You got any announcements?
No, I think that things are coming back together since my hard drive died, and little by little I'll be back into it. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing through things. So I will be around all next week. So I will see you for episode 171, and
awesome.
We'll be on the 21st,
and I will
right
be at
before
the
Christmas.
Northern office.
Oh, you will. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Send my regards to the Northern office staff.
To the Northern Studios.
And I will be recovering from the office Christmas party.
Right on.
All right, you guys, have a great one. We'll see you next week at episode 171. Until then, live.
Kapla.
Joe Lantro.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5-Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
G&T Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.
Gonna take a 5-year tour. Boldly go where no man's gone before. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends. Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my yo man. Represent the human race, and we make space a happy place to boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy-free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends with aliens. To boldly go where no man's gone before. Space happy. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G